Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Two topics for this video. First one, I think it's a well-known fact based on assessments, statements, actions that Z-stein, the guy in charge supposedly of Ukraine at this point, wanted to drag the Europeans in a fight with Russia. So the Europeans against the Europeans, with the Americans ultimately being the winners here. That would tell you who's actually in charge of Zelensky. Not only that it is the Europeans, but Zelensky wants to create this mirage that Ukraine's problem created by the Russians is a world problem. It's a problem for the whole entire world. Now that's a narcissistic mindset. That's the first topic. The second topic, Mr. Klitschko, the mayor of the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, comes out swinging or jabbing. Why? We'll find out if Zelensky will eliminate Klitschko or Klitschko's forces from behind Klitschko will eliminate Zelensky. This is the same situation almost as between Zelensky, Stein, and Zaluzny, General Zaluzny. Zelensky won. Zaluzny was exiled to London as the Ukraine's ambassador to Great Britain. Klitschko comes out and says again, Kiev mayor accuses Zelensky's team of attempting to usurp power. What did Zelensky tell Mr. Klitschko about a year and a half ago? I'm going to knock you out if you come over Red Rover. So let's start with the first article. This is just a, I don't want to say the cherry on the cake, but it's just another article I will bring to you to see how this guy tries to get the whole world to somehow destroy Russia because Ukraine is a entire world problem, not Ukraine's problem caused by people outside of Ukraine. So in wake of Russia's deadly drone strike, Zelensky urges world to keep up pressure on Moscow. So, have you ever heard this situation when you get attacked by someone who tries to, let's say, beat you up, and then you beat up the guy because he doesn't know you're stronger? Or he doesn't think that you're going to fight. He's a bully or whatever he is. And you start fighting with the guy and you're winning. And the guy all of a sudden starts crying and being the victim of your aggression. And then you have baboons around. It happened to me, just so you know. Not here, in Romania. And you have baboons around. They're trying to intervene to help the aggressor, which in this case I think are the guys behind Ukraine. That's my assessment. Wrong as it is. Try to help the guy and you are the bad guy because you kick the guy in the teeth while the guy is down there. And he's crying and he's telling that, oh, I have family, don't hit me. But before that, the baboons did not know what happened. And that guy tries to say, oh, Emil is a bad dude. Everybody, look, help me. But they don't know that the guy tried to do something to me and he tried to fuck me up. So the same thing with Ukraine right now. Ukraine was pushed towards a certain direction by outside forces. Spring 2014 coup d'etat, bloody coup d'etat organized by, those are called, traitors in Ukraine, organized a bloody coup with the help of outside foreign agencies and overthrew a legitimate government, democratically elected, of Ukraine. Now, those are called traitors, and with the help from outside, you're a traitor square. So what do we have here? These guys, and then after that, they try to do all kind of things to the guys in Donbass. The guys in Donbass and Crimea did not recognize the guys in Kiev. Kiev sent tanks over there to subdue those guys, and that's how it all started then, with a coup d'etat. If you want to go back, we're going to go to the NATO expansion, which is the main reason why we are having this in Ukraine. And the NATO expansion is not because of Russia, it's because of the lovers of freedom and democracy, who recognize the usurpers of power in Ukraine in 2014. Hey, what do you want? Consistency, right? And then these guys, remember when Zelensky was elected as the president of the Ukrainians, he said, I don't like anything about the Minsk agreements. That means I'm going to do something to the Russians. So that's how the bullshit started. I know, we're supposed to believe that the Russians, unprovoked, the Ukrainians unprovoked. They were unprovoked, did not provoke the Russians unprovoked just attacked the Ukrainians. That's how we're supposed to believe. And the Ukrainians now are the victim, and because of that, first, now there are, even though they were prepared by NATO countries before that, anyway, you should not mention that. After that, they're losing, these guys lose support, and now this is a global world, help us. Why? Because now you get your teeth pushed in by the kicks. That's exactly what I think it is. So I have no sympathy for Zelensky, Stein, and all that. And to see it, you got Mr. Klitschko next. What is Mr. Klitschko? And I'm gonna give you, I think, some clues on who I think is behind Klitschko's power or position. That's one, and it's not the Ukrainian people. Okay, anyway. And the second one is how Zelensky told him, I will knock you out if you don't go back to your little thing. You could be investigated by our intelligence services and so on. And Klitschko shut the fuck up for about 6 months. He stayed over there bobbing and weaving and rope-a-doping without jabbing at all, unlike Muhammad Ali with George Foreman. So let's see. Russia Today, 30th of January 2025. Kiev mayor accuses Zelensky's team of attempting to usurp power. Now this is nice, it's a euphemism as Zelensky's team. It's like you have a captain of the team, let's say in football, and you call it the team without the captain. Let's say you have Hagi, the Romanian football player with the Romanian team. A Romanian team, Hagi is the chief over there, is right in charge. Is right to usurp? No, he is in charge of the usurpers. He is the main usurper. Why? He's not even legitimate, according to some who interpret the Ukrainian constitution. I know only the Ukrainians can interpret their constitution, blah, blah. Vitaly Klitschko has claimed that the administration of the Ukrainian leader, why don't they stop calling Zelensky, Stein, Ukrainian leader? I have no fucking clue, coming from the Russians. This is Russia Today. I don't understand that. Maybe someone can enlighten me. Ukrainian leader is meddling in the capital's local governance, endangering democracy. Kiev mayor Vitaly Klitschko has accused the Ukrainian government of attempting to undermine the city's leadership, claiming that Vladimir Zelensky's administration is interfering in local governance. In a video addressed on Wednesday, Klitschko, who has a strained relationship because he challenges the other baboons, the Ukrainian Zelensky's leadership. Why? Because he's Ukrainian, the other guy is, warned on ongoing political intrigues in the capital allegedly orchestrated by the Ukrainian leader's allies. Klitschko's criticisms follows the appointment in December of Timur Lenk, is that a Turkish name? Timur Tsakchenko, probably this is the Tatar or something, as head of the Kiev city military administration. Tsakchenko, previously a deputy minister for the community and territorial development, replaced Sergei Popko, a military officer who had led the administration since 2022. Klitschko has challenged the move, arguing that Tsakchenko lacks military experience and is unqualified for the position. Tsakchenko has been obstructing key economic decisions in Kiev in a bid to take over the powers of the mayor and the city council, Klitschko claims. Mayor being Klitschko, obviously. And I'm quoting, since taking the job, Tsakchenko has been blocking the resolution of key economic issues in the city, the mayor alleged. According to Klitschko, Tsakchenko is doing so in an attempt to take over the powers of the mayor, the city council in violation of the law. An attempt is being made in Kiev to unbalance power and destroy local governance, Klitschko added. Let me remind you that the military administration is a temporary body that should deal with defense and security, not usurpation of power, he stressed. Good job. Here it is. Klitschko, former world heavyweight boxing champion, was one of the most prominent figures in the Western back coup in Kiev 2024. One of the most prominent figures in the Western back coup in 2014, which led to the overthrow of democratically elected Ukrainian President because he was Ukrainian, Viktor Yanukovych. He became the capital's mayor the same year, and in one of the few officials from the area of Zelensky's predecessor, Pyotr Poroshenko. Why? Some people just are allowed to be in power because they're too good, because the masters agree with that, approve of that. To have retained his post. See, he became the capital's one of the few who retained his post. Why? The Germans are behind him, I think. In 2019, Zelensky's administration attempted to remove Klitschko from his position as head of Kiev city-state administration, but he was re-elected in 2020 by the will of the Ukrainians. In December 2023, Klitschko accused Zelensky of steering Ukraine towards authoritarianism. Try again. Authoritarianism. Good job. A little bit of Romanian in it, but it's okay. Expressing concerns over the centralization of power. Tensions between the two have persisted, with disagreements over issues such as state Kiev bomb shelters and the management of the city infrastructure. I'm going to tell you about this incident. Kiev bomb shelters. There was an attack by the Russians, and one shelter, if I remember correctly, was not open. The guys in charge was Gigi. And Gigi not opened the shelter, and a woman with 2 kids, I think, lost their lives at the shelter's doors. Then Zelensky, who is in charge of a war, sending people to fight the Russians that could have been avoided through negotiations, he called on Klitschko that Klitschko himself should have walked over there, smacked the door with a punch, a straight jab, bang, bang, opened the door for the 3 people. Now, it was awful, but it was he in charge of the guys locking and coming with a vodka-inflicted sleep to open the shelter, or was Gigi? So he tried to investigate that maybe Klitschko is not doing a good job in the shelters in Kiev. And these guys, what's his name, Klitschko, was activated to hit back with an uppercut. And he said, you know what, wait a second, it's not like that, it's not me here, it's one incident, what are you talking about? And Klitschko and Zelensky said, well, he should be, I'm paraphrasing. This is what Zelensky said. Don't we have, wasn't 6 million enough? Anyway, don't we have enough outside enemies? Do we need domestic ones too? He should be careful so he doesn't get knocked out. Fucking 4'2", which is, 1 meter 50 centimeters tall. Zelensky told Klitschko, he's gonna knock him out. Wasn't that enough for you? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so Klitschko is protected by Germany. That's what I think. Their interest over there is not only one interest, they're all in agreement. No, there's usurpers in those interests on the planetary scale. There are many interests. Okay, so it is the banking system. The banking system is not a monolithic system. In the banking system, international banking system, there are factions that try to be in charge. That's how it works in the military-industrial complex. Don't think that Raytheon is friends with Boeing or with Lockheed Martin. No, there are interests that fight with one another for perks from baboons, which is us. And the same thing with energy, with natural resources industry. There are interests, gas, oil, coal, and so on. And within those, there are interests, factions that fight with one another. The same here. Klitschko, I think, is Germany's boy. Zelensky, I think, is the Americans' boy. And so on. So Klitschko now came out and say, wait a minute, because he was activated. He knows that Zelensky is about to fly towards London after, this is Zelensky taking off from Kiev, let's say, ooh, and this is a Russian missile. Ooh, and you know what's next. I foresee that happening. When Zelensky is trying to take his luggage with the money, running away from Kiev towards London, I think that's going to be the first stop. I think the Russians are going to be like, let me see. All right, I think that's the way it's going to be. If it's not going to be that way, Zelensky will eat something that is not going to sit well with his stomach. And that's going to be the Russians' Novichok. You know, Novichok, poison. They're going to immediately say, it was the Russians. So yes, I have no doubt over there that it's garbage, it's corruption, it's tyranny. And the problem is Zelensky still has people in power that he can activate to go and arrest Klitschko. Klitschko cannot arrest, not even legally, the president. The president can arrest Klitschko with an arrest warrant signed by a judge, with his guys over there. They're going to come and get him for interrogation. He can do that. Klitschko cannot. Klitschko doesn't have not only the authority, doesn't have the power, the people. Remember who appoints these guys, chiefs of departments? It's Zelensky, not Klitschko. So it's coming. I think we're going to see now the fight between Zelensky and Klitschko. Zelensky kicked into retirement and exiled Mr. Zaluzny, and that was a bad move by Zaluzny, but I think he was made to go. I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm going. I said I'm going. I think Zaluzny left. Why would you leave when you have the power of military? You are in charge. You're in charge of the military. You are in charge, not Zelensky. You send the military and get Zelensky, get Klitschko, get Budanov, you get anyone you want. You got the power, the brute power. That's ultimately who leads. So why would you just, I'm gonna go to London where I'm gonna be stripped of my pistol or anything else and my power to lead and order people around. I'm gonna just be an ambassador. Why would you think he did that? So I think he was, you go or you go. You go to London or you go to see whomever Jesus you have over there. That's how I think it is. So now I think I'm waiting for the summer. I'm waiting for Mr. Klitschko to take his luggage and go to Berlin. He's not going to go to London. He's going to go to Berlin or München. I think München is better. Munich. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart. Unless Zelensky is by his masters and they will protect the jabber, Mr. Dr. Jab or whatever he was called, him or his brother, or both. Good fighter, I like them, until they open their mouth politically and socially. I was like, oh my God, you're one of those guys. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth and be just.